Peace. Uh, it's the Godfather time, the two rule. Uh, I be on Facebook a lot, man, and I see that there is a lot of conflict about patriarchal and matriarchal cultures, basically. Historically speaking, African countries were predominantly matriarchal societies. You know what I mean? European countries were predominantly patriarchal societies. Um, Here today in America, especially in the conscious community, because the culture of America is, this is a European country, so they are, they're formulated on European values, and one of those would be a patriarchal society. You can see that where the man is basically dominant over, dominant. The woman is the female is basically subjugated. She's for all intents and purposes, as far as this society is concerned, a woman is a beast to have babies with. As far as European ideals are concerned, because a woman basically gets no type of credit, no nothing here in this country. Um, so that's the mind state of virtually everyone in this country. In the conscious community, however, it's a little different. You have schools of thought whose way of thinking is patriarchal, and then you have some whose ways of thinking is matriarchal. For example, I came in the knowledge of self as a God body, 5%er. Um, and I had some issues with uh, the 120 in regards to a woman's status, and the man is considered God, but the woman isn't. She's not even considered a goddess. She's considered the earth. Um, the lessons say she's the moon. So there's a, how do I say that? The woman is equated for equality in the math. The man is equated for God, which is seven. So the woman is six, the man is seven. Uh, Ironically speaking, the devil is also equated with the number six in the math. So basically, the black woman is on the same level as the so-called devil, which I find that odd. You know what I mean? That's kind of weird to me. In the Nation of Islam, the black woman is considered the moon. The man is considered the God. The man is God. Uh, when Father Allah uh, started the nation of gods on earth, the, the black woman became the earth. She still didn't rise to the level of God with her man. Now, as far as I'm concerned, if I'm God, then my woman is a goddess. Period. You feel what I'm saying? Um, but that's not how some people view that. Now you have other schools of thought whose ideology is the total opposite. The black woman is God, and the black man is, you know, just there, basically. It's this shit is crazy. But anyway, the black woman is God, and the black man is just, he's there. He just exists. They have a lot of so-called science, pseudoscience, I would say, because I seen some shit before about they was talking about the bartho I forget what it's called. This gland, basically, it's a homogeneous gland. Basically, men and women have this gland, but they were trying to say that this gland, women was able to asexually reproduce. And when I seen it, I think it's called the Barlutin gland or something like that. So I looked it up, And I found out that the gland wasn't nothing but it basically created moisture for the vagina. It does the same thing within the shaft of the penis. It creates moisture there. That's all it does. Um, Now these people have created this, this pseudoscience, and they try to trick people into buying into it, saying that this is how women were creating. This is how women were creating offspring without the help of a man. Uh, in ancient times. This was their argument. This is what they were saying. Now I don't know if people was researching that gland or not, or just researching that shit. Period. But I hear a lot of people saying that women reproduce asexually. Women preceded man. Because men come from the woman. Blah blah blah. I hear a lot of this stuff, man. But Uh, I have yet to see any evidence, scientific or otherwise, that supports the idea of a woman giving birth to children without a man. Now I've heard of this in reptiles and certain fish and lower invertebrates, stuff like that. Never heard of it happening with mammals. Never heard of that happening with mammals. A lot of people like to talk about the Y or the not the Y chromosome, but mitochondrial DNA. Now I understand that mitochondrial DNA is passed from mother to daughter, right? But nobody ever focuses on the Y chromosome, and the Y chromosome is passed from father to son. It's always about mitochondrial DNA. It's always about the oldest this is found was a female, as if that proves that the female was the oldest. Period. Like I don't understand how that proves any of that. You know what I mean? People like to talk about the bones of Lucy. You got some members in the conscious community who say we didn't evolve from no apes, right? But then you got the other ones who say um, the oldest human remains was found in Africa, and they mentioned Lucy as the oldest human remains. But Lucy, for all intents and purposes, was not a human. She didn't look like me. She didn't look like anybody looking at this video. Um, if we didn't evolve from no apes, we can't pick and choose when we want to add something or make something a part of humanity. Just because she a female, you know, that just means they didn't find a male. So, are you trying to say that there was no female Lucy's? I mean, there was no males of that species? Is that what you're trying to say? I mean, clearly it had to been some males, just ain't found none. You know, uh, so it's a lot of I just let me get off of that. This is what I want to say, man. This is what I really want to build on. Um, we are divided. We are divided based on ideologies of who is here first, man or the woman. Who should lead, man or the woman? You know, from my you know, my my opinion, I I think the first humans were more than likely hermaphrodites. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion. More than likely, the first humans were hermaphrodites, which would explain why men have nipples. Just throw that out there. I could be tripping, but who knows? Seems more logical to me that the first humans were hermaphrodites versus there was only women on the planet and no men, and the women was just making babies without men. Because if that's the case, then there would have never been a reason for us to evolve in the first place. If they could reproduce without us, why? What would be the need for us to exist in the first place? If she could do it all on her own, she don't got no Y chromosome. So where did it come from? Where did the Y chromosome come from? If it didn't come from her, because if she was our precursor, she would have it too. Don't you think? I mean, why does the man have the Y and the X chromosome, and the woman only has the X chromosome, and it requires a Y chromosome to produce a male, but the female doesn't have one? If she was reproducing asexually and creating males asexually, then she would have to have the predisposition or the genetic makeup material, whatever you want to call it, for a Y chromosome. Why don't she have one now? It would have to be there. So if you ask me, the first humans were hermaphrodites and evolved into separate sexes. That seems more logical to me than any of this other shit that I'm hearing. So to get away from that for a minute, I just want to say this. All of this arguing and bickering we doing about patriarchal society, patriarchal, matriarchal, all that shit, all that's doing is creating division, man. You know what I mean? You got these people saying the black man is God, and then you got this people over here saying no, he's not. The black woman is God, and then they saying no, she not. The black man is God. Listen, man, we both God. We God together. You can't separate us, man. Why we insist on trying to separate ourselves from each other, man? Why do we insist on trying to place one above the other? Why are we competing with each other for our divinity? Our divinity is equal. I deal in equality, man. You understand what I'm saying? I deal in equality. Our divinity, our godhood is all equal. We God together. She's not God, and she's not God by herself, and I'm not nothing, and I'm not God by myself, and she's not nothing. That makes no fucking sense whatsoever. We need to stop doing that. We need to get off of that, man. We have to deal in equality, man. That's the language of the universe, man. Duality. You know what I mean? You can't have one without the other. If there was no men, if men was to be eradicated off the face of the planet, humanity is gonna die, and vice versa. There never existed a time when there was only women on this planet and no men, and she was just spitting out babies all by her lonesome. That's some bullshit, man. If that if, like if that time ever existed, there wouldn't be no men now. She wouldn't have had no need to evolve into creating men. She wouldn't have had no need to do that. That makes no fucking sense, man. It makes no sense, and I'm so sick of hearing this shit. And I'm so sick of hearing this people thinking that the woman came out of a man's fucking rib. That is some garbage, man. Oh my goodness, man. We need to get up off of that shit, man. Whatever our origin is, we shared it together. And I ain't gonna sit up here in front like I know, cause I don't. I'm 37, man. Shit, I don't know what the fuck was going on a million, 2 million, 30, 40 million years ago. I don't know, man. I ain't seen no historical documentation on it, so I'm not gonna speculate either. I don't know what the fuck was happening 50 million years ago. You know, only thing I could say is more than likely humans when they first when humans first evolved were hermaphrodites. Humans had male and female sexual reproductive organs. Those still exist today. They still pop up today, man. You know, and when you look at hermaphrodites, one sex is dominant over the other. This individual may have a penis and a vagina, and that person may be mostly male, or that person may be mostly female in regards to mannerisms and hormones and all of that type of stuff. Um, More than likely, that was our origin. That would explain asexual reproduction. Wasn't no full blown female just out spitting out babies, man. Where did where did the Y chromosome come from? People want like I even heard some a feminist talk some shit like, well the leg of the X chromosome broke off and that's where the Y came from. Man, get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here. That's some whatever. We need to stop that, man. Whatever our origin is, man, we share that origin equally, man. We share it equally. You know, We need to deal in equality. We need to get up off of this. He's better than her. She better than him. Shit. We need to get up off of that. We need to come together, man. I don't know no other way. I don't know other way to say that. We need to come together, man. We need to stop bickering about you know who was here first and who came from whom and all of that, man. We just need to stop. This the Godfather Time the Two Rule. Uh, Check me out on Facebook, Father Time the Two Rule, Master Teacher the Two Rule. Um, like I said, man, if you want to build, we can build. It's not a problem. I love building. Just hit me up. To check out my channel, Time to God TV. Peace.